Okay, this episode is called Folding Up the Monopoly Game. At the end of a game of Parker Brothers Monopoly, what do? Well, you put you take down all the houses and hotels and put them back in the place in the game box. And then, you just clean up all the money and you organize all the money and put elastic band around all the money, put that back in the box, and you fold up the community chest cards and the chance cards, and those go back in the box. And then anything else that you've got, your little guys that you use to run around the board to represent you, your avatars, whether it's a top hat or a little terrier dog or something, all nicely made in metal. We don't want to tell you. Then you go and rules and everything else. Anything else that's part of the game goes back in the game box. And then you put the fold up Monopoly game board in there as well. You put the top on it, and then it goes on a shelf. Now, how do we end the Monopoly game in real everyday Monopoly? Like, not Parker Brothers Monopoly, let's call it Planet Earth Monopoly game. Because that's what we're playing here on Planet Earth. We're playing the Monopoly game. And we don't know how to tell you this other than it's time to put the Monopoly board and game away. But, we need those houses and hotels as a place to live. So it's not as simple as saying game over. It's simply, well, what if somebody just knew the game was about to get to end? I don't know. I can't figure it out. How to end the Monopoly game of the economy of planet Earth. Because then what? Because that's basically, the money game. The money game. How do we fold up the money game? Somebody else might say, well, it's the financial game. All right, it's the financial game. It's the money game. It's part of the game of, well, I'm going to have a family, so I got to have a place to live. So I got to buy some real estate. Then I got to buy a car so I can go to work and pay for it all. Because I took out a mortgage at the bank. So this is all part of the money game. The money game is also part of, like, when you go to Walmart to get your stuff. You are definitely transferring a bunch of stuff called your life energy that you put into working some job to make cash money. It's your life that, money is really. It's your life energy. And some people have high leverage on it. In other words, you might have to scrub floors for minimum wage as a maid to make your money. Whereas somebody else might have been, like, in a strange accident of birth, born into a very wealthy family. And the whole point of it is, what is the whole point of it? How do you get rid of this game? Why do we want to get rid of it? The why is because it's a winner-take-all game. And, is that somehow not going to work for us anymore? This used to be called the trickle-down theory under Ronald Reagan. As long as the rich people are making lots of money, then it'll trickle down to everyone else. And it was called voodoo economics in the 1980s. But strange or not, at least on some kind of tally sheet, it worked. There was a great economic boom under Reagan. there were some really horrible things too, like exceptionally high mortgage rates. In Canada, at one point the mortgage rate was 24% a year. In some places they might call that loan sharking, but we still have a why. Why do we need to get rid of the money system? The money system needs to be removed because we are all not able to afford to live using it anymore. How are we going to do this? I don't know how to tell you this, but there is a strange plan. I've talked about it before, by Charles Eisenstein, and his book is called Sacred Economics, and it is the replacement for the monopoly money system that we are using now. What are the chances of us switching to Charles Eisenstein's gift economy? Zilch. Why zilch? Because not anybody has heard of this thing. I heard of it. But, how many out of the billions of people on the planet have heard of this plan? Probably less than the number of people that have heard the NESARA GESARA plan for saving the world economy. You ever heard of that either? NESARA GESARA? This is the plan that perhaps Ashtar Sharon of Ashtar Command, those are extraterrestrials, gave us. And basically, anyway, you can go read about these things. And what percent of the population have heard of NESARA GESARA? It's only a fringe, because I don't think it's been mentioned in the movies. If it had been mentioned in the movies, there'd be more talk about it. It's only talked about who are people that are into ascended masters and angels. And as far as that goes, then so the gift economy hasn't been heard as much as NESARA, because NESARA has been talked about for like at least 10 years, 10, 12 years, getting a big honk on that. People just don't know about these things, and how are you going to get people to know about this? Well, the latest information from these fringe elements is that the governments are going to implement guaranteed annual income to citizens in exchange for all the citizens giving up all of their property. So if you want a guaranteed annual income from us, you got to give up your house and your bank account. What does it sound like to me? Well, this is just a fringe thing, Okay, the other things that we want to talk about. So how are we going to go and put the money system to bed and change to something else? I cannot see a way to do it. I cannot see a way to do it. So I think we're stuck with the money system, which means that we've got enormous, the 1%, enormous riches of the 1%, and the rest of us try to scrape by to see if we have enough quarters to buy a burger at McDonald's for lunch. There's so many other ideas that are being thrown around, like no, nothing really is like grounded in our reality. They all have a certain element of fantasy, like the extraterrestrials are going to come and rescue us, or the angels are going to come and rescue us, there's going to be a great rapture where only the good are going to ascend, like in Stargate. I'm not exactly sure how they do ascend in Stargate, but I listened to somebody explain it to me one time, and it sounds like they maybe go to another world. But, what are the chances of that? Like, how many people do you know that have left here, to go to another world? The answer is no one's left to go to another world other than the dead. And no one here is volunteering to drink the Kool-Aid to become instantly dead to go to some other place. So, and the citizens don't have an army, the citizens, with their pitchforks don't have an army to go up against M1A1 tanks or Apache helicopters. So there's no sense of like a revolution, rebellion. There's just the citizens can't do it. So,